Welcome to another episode of Open Stride Podcast, ladies and gents. Thank y'all for tuning in. We moving right along this list, man, and we getting deep into it. We're getting closer and closer to the playoff teams, but right now we are still at teams that were not beating the playoffs and what we like to call lottery teams. So
Yes.
right now we at number 23, and this 23 team, like I told y'all last time, if I got the hint, it's going to be the Washington Wizards. And Faye said, "It's no way y'all should not have got that hint." So hopefully y'all did. So we at the Washington Wizards, man, and as every episode before us, y'all know Faye's got the Eastern Conference team, so I'm not gonna talk anymore. Faye, I'm tossing you the baton.
Yes, it's the Washington Wizards. So to keep it traditional, do you know any Wizards fans? We both have one that we both know, but
Yeah.
outside of we both know.
KJ Davis. Shout out to KJ, man. KJ actually sent me a book a while back.
Nice.
It's it was called The Way of the Superior Man.
Yep.
He said he posted it on Instagram and he said whoever swipe up get it, and I swiped up and he mailed it to me free of charge. And I've been meaning to pay it forward and send that book off to somebody else. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get on social media and send it off to somebody else. But yeah, to KJ did that for me, man. But outside of KJ, I have one of my friends named Devin Aspie. He's a Washington native, DMV native, so he's not a big Washington fan basketball, but he's a big fan of the football team. But he does cheer for them as the hometown team.
Okay. I mean, that counts. So
yeah. What about you?
Just KJ.
KJ.
Nobody else. Yeah.
KJ was such a big Washington fan when we were in high school.
Yeah, he loved John Wall.
That's crazy. That is so crazy to me.
About Cleveland versus Washington and stuff like that. Actually, we probably can bring them back up this year because I think both of our teams are kind of in the same bracket. I mean, we power ranked them 24 and 23. So
yeah.
KJ, if you're listening, let's get to making small bets.
Yeah. So what you got about the Washington Wizards, man, that you can tell us?
Let's start with some of their key additions. So they drafted Corey Kispert, traded for Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in one trade. In a second trade, they got Aaron Holiday, and then in another sign and trade, they got Spencer Dinwiddie. So those are all rotational pieces on their team. What do you feel about those?
I'm not sure about Spencer Dinwiddie. I feel like he could be an all-star.
Oh, I meant like okay, wow.
Yeah, I feel like Spencer Dinwiddie could step into that starting role alongside Bradley Beal and actually put up pretty good numbers. I can see 28 and 5 from him.
Off an injury here?
Huh?
Coming off an injury?
Yeah, man. I feel like he had enough time to really just because he was scheduled to come back at the end of the last season, but he just didn't. He could have came back.
But he did though. I know he's talented. 28 and 5. He said 28 and 5.
Yeah,
correct?
So 20 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds.
Okay, so that is all-star numbers if he does put that up.
That's what I'm saying.
But if he did make an all-star team, whose spot would he be taking? Well, that's pretty locked and loaded out there.
It's not as locked and loaded as we think. The only thing about I can't even think about who made the all-star team last year. But only thing I would say that won't happen this year, that happened last year. Going forward, Trae Young is going to be an all-star every year for the rest of his career. And he was not an all-star this past season. So that's
probably agree with that.
Huh?
I probably agree with your statement.
Yeah, like Trae Young, after the playoff run he just had last year, he's going to be an all-star for the rest of his career now. He was an all-star the year before last, and he was a starter. And a lot of people was like, well, it was so many players hurt, yada, yada, yada. I was like, I ain't trying to hear that. Trae Young, all-star, forget it. And now coming into this next season, he coming into that last season, he didn't make the all-star, even though he should have, because he put up good numbers. He averaged like 26, 27 points a game. It was robbery that he didn't get the all-star team. But now
at that time.
Huh?
They were struggling at that time.
Yeah, they suck. They suck. I agree. They suck. But now coming into this next season, I feel like after that playoff run, he'll be an all-star. So outside of him, let me just look at the list. I just pulled it up quickly.
Well, Kyrie will be an all-star. Right?
Maybe.
Ben Simmons is still in the East.
Maybe. Kyrie,
Ben Simmons is still in the East. Ben Simmons is all-star.
So we got Bradley Beal. The starters was Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and that's it. Yeah, that's 5. I'm missing one. KD. Yeah. I'm missing KD. Okay. So going to the reserves, he can take Jaylen Brown's spot. That's one off rip. He can take Jaylen Brown's spot. He can possibly take Zach LaVine's spot. He can possibly take Julius Randle's spot. He can possibly take Sabonis' spot, and he could possibly take the big man that was in Orlando that's now in Chicago, Nokia.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, it's wide open, face. What do
okay, so those okay. So there's a possibility. Okay, some of them I don't agree with. I don't agree with Zach LaVine's spot being taken by Spencer Dinwiddie, but only time.
You're right. I take the Zach LaVine spot out. He not gonna take Zach LaVine's spot, but the other people I named, it's a possibility he take all their spots.
Jaylen Brown solidified.
I do not agree with that.
You know what? Tune in for our Boston Celtics team preview later on.
I do not agree with that.
Tune in. Let's get back to the Wizards. So, besides Dinwiddie, what about Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl, Corey, Crispin, and Aaron Holiday? How do you feel about those pickups?
I feel like Kuzma can. So, Kuzma, I'm not gonna say nothing crazy about Kuzma. I'm a fan of Kuzma. I'm gonna say that. Well, before I say what I feel about Kuzma, you are a Lakers, not a Lakers fan, but you cheer for the Lakers because you're a LeBron fan. You want LeBron to get his second ring. So Kuzma was around for the first championship, and he was around last year when they lost in the first round. So what are your thoughts and feelings about Kuzma before I go in about what I think Kuzma can do this upcoming season?
I am not a Lakers fan. You are correct, but I am from Los Angeles, so I guess I can kind of claim them. But I do want LeBron to continue to win. Since my team can't win championships, LeBron, please win as many as you can before you retire. I'm not a Kuzma fan personally. I just don't think he did as much as he has a lot of potential. I don't think he reached his potential playing next to LeBron like he should have. His role changed a lot, and I get it. It's tough when you go from one of the primary scoring options to a player off the bench, but there's many times when the light shined bright and they needed him to step up and he just didn't do it. So I'm just not a big Kyle Kuzma fan, but I do think the situation for Kyle Kuzma could help bring him back to more prominence again, because he's going to be in a different role where they're not competing for a championship. They're going to be a grinding team trying to compete for a play-in spot. So I think this could be good for him and maybe up his trade value again, but I'm just not sold on Kyle Kuzma as of right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I actually am a fan of Kyle Kuzma.
What do you like about Kyle Kuzma? You're hard on basketball players, but you're a fan of Kyle Kuzma.
I am hard on players. I'm more so okay. When ladies and gentlemen, when Faye say I'm hard on basketball players, I'm more hard on players that get overhyped, players that don't live up to the expectations that the pedestal y'all put them on. I like to be the common medium that bring players down a notch. Not saying I'm like that man to keep them in check, but I like to bring the fan base. The players can be whoever they want, but I like to bring the fan base when they hire on play. I like to be the one like, he's not as good as you think he is, or she not as good as you think he is.
The person they think Stephen Curry is overrated, so and he's trying to argue about not being hard on players.
I don't think Steph Curry is over. I think Steph Curry can be overrated at times. I will agree with you.
Tune in for the Warriors team preview for more.
I do think Steph Curry can be overrated at times by his fan base. Like I said, I'm more hard on the fan base than I actually am the player. I just like to bring the fan base down a notch or two. So let's get to Kuzma. I feel like Kuzma was given a bad rap with the Lakers, man. Like somebody had to be that fall guy for LA troubles, and Kuzma would just happen to be that guy to take that rap. So
he didn't produce. Who else did you put it on?
I'm saying though, what was the coaches putting him in position to produce? What the teammates around him setting up to produce? All he did, he had to just get his out the mud. No plays draw from him. No, he just had to go out there and get it. I feel like players are who they were. Players are who they are based on their system that they're in. Everybody can be a transcendent player like LeBron James, like Anthony Davis, like Dame, like Curry. Like everybody can. Some players need a system to put them in best position to succeed. And I feel like Kyle Kuzma wasn't put in that position to succeed. And the crazy thing about it, I do feel like Kyle Kuzma was drinking that Kool-Aid in LA too much. He fell in love with the limelight. He fell in love with the celebrity. He fell in love with all that. I remember when AD first got there, and everybody was talking about how the Lakers was about to get another star. They got AD, and they were like, okay, we about to get one more star. It was like Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, Paul. It was like we about to get one more, and they ended up not getting anybody. Kuzma posted a picture on Instagram talking about the three amigos or 3-star. Like he posted that picture as if we don't need another star. Y'all got me type of thing.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and it didn't live up. That's what I'm trying to say.
So yes, he didn't live up to that. But I still feel like that gets back to my point that he was drinking the Kool-Aid of LA too much. He put himself on a pedestal that he shouldn't have put himself on. But I feel like he's better player than what people give him credit for. That's what
I
I
agree. I think he's a better player than people give credit for. But when he's in the limelight, when it matters, and you're playing on a championship team, you're expected to produce, especially when you're labeled as one of the top 3 players at the time. One, or maybe top 5. Let's go top 5. Top 3 is kind of steep on that team. They're talented. Well, were like you're one of the top players. You're expected to produce, especially when Anthony Davis goes down in the playoffs, right? You're missing people. People aren't playing. Drummond's not playing. You should have produced. That was your opportunity. LeBron needed help. I think LeBron could have did better, but that's beside the point.
I feel
I
you.
think that was opportunity for him to finally say, you know what? Let me step up. Let me help you. Let me grab these rebounds. Let me put these points up. Let me score. And he was terrible. He was a horrible performance. So that's the last thing we have on Kyle Kuzma. His disappearance from the first round of the playoffs last year.
I agree with you there. So what I think Cal Coopers can do, I will say he can get most improved player in Wizards. But the thing is, when he was at LA, he averaged 18 points a game his second season, and I really don't see Kyle Coopers putting up that much more than 18 points a
But they
game.
didn't win games.
Huh?
You can win. You can average 18 points if you don't win games.
No. I agree with that.
Yeah, Colin Sexton averaged 24, and we didn't win games. It
No.
sounds
I
good.
agree. I'm talking about what I want. What I expect from him going in Washington. I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying I would say that he could be most improved player, but the fact that he already averaged a good amount, because most improved player usually go to a player that make a big jump in their averages. So a player that go from like 6-7 points a game to 15, 20 points a game, a player that go from 10 points a game to 25 points a game.
Darius Garland's gonna be in that conversation this year. Just throwing out there for the previous episode, Darius Garland.
Maybe. So my thing is, it's gonna be hard for him to get most improved player because he already averaged 18 points a game, and I don't see him averaging that much more. Because like I said, I just gave Spencer Dinwiddie 20. Beal go get 30. So Kuz probably can get in he probably can get 15 to 18 again.
Yeah, about 15 for sure.
That's what I say. So if he get 15 to 18 points again, that's not gonna be a big enough jump in his career for him to get most improved player, because that's actually a downgrade from what he did in LA. But I do feel like he could be an average starter, a good player, a good rotational piece on the starting lineup, and help them win help them get into the playoffs and maybe win a playoff series. That's what I feel like.
He can start?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be Spencer, Beal, Kuz, Montrez, and what's the big man they got there? Thomas Bryant.
Oh no, I don't agree with that.
Who you think gonna start? Give me the lineup then. We haven't got to the lineup part of this episode, so give me the lineup. We can talk about.
I think it's gonna be Spencer, Bradley Beal, depending on Denny on his improvement from year 1 to year 2. He was their starting 3 last year, or if they want to go more a spacing lineup, Corey could possibly be in there. But Kuzma is a possibility for the 3, possibly. I don't think. I think Corey's the one that's not going to be. Just throw it out there. I think it's not going to be Corey, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. But the 4 is going to be Rui Hachimura. They're going to continue to start him when he's back, because I was going to note that he is gone for extended period of time as of right now. There's no time frame when he'll be back, and then Thomas Bryant will be the starting center. But Rui Hachimura was who they were looking to start building around. He's talented. He just can't stay healthy. That's the one thing about him. And now he's gone again.
No. So, actually, I agree with that. I think he may be a starter, but I think he may be. Actually, I agree with that. I think he may be a starter. I like him. I actually do like him.
He's good.
I do like him. Montrez may come off the bench, but Montrez he proved to be a good bench player, so that's not gonna hurt his.
I think he likes that better. I think he likes to come off the bench when the game's already started, because statistically, if you look at it, he didn't do as good when he started for the Lakers. And I think he made a comment to Frank Vogel that he prefers to come off the bench. It's just how he likes to play basketball better. So that's just one of the players. So maybe probably they still have Cladwell Pope. Is he gonna come off the bench, or do they put him at the 3? Like, there's so many ways they can go with this. So
I think Caldwell Pope comes up the bench behind Bradley Beal,
which would be a good idea. I think that'd probably be the most ideal thing.
But I think Kuz gonna start dog at the 3 spot.
I'm not arguing this. It's possible. I mean, that's a lot of offense if they do go with Spencer Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Rui Hachimura, and Thomas Bryant. That's actually a solid starting 5. But the reason that we're actually keeping them in the lottery is because a lot of new people coming in. Injuries is a big question, and I don't think this team is really built to compete.
In the
after
East, dog. The East, people rag on the East a lot, but the East actually has talent. So that's why we got them outside
yeah,
the playoffs.
they are.
So
They're really
that's
talented.
why. But they're gonna have a good season. We're gonna see how they do throughout the season. But it's gonna be interesting. You think Bradley Beal stays on the team all year?
That's a question I'll ask at the very end. They just
Oh,
I'll take questions for me. That's okay though. That's okay.
my
Uh,
bad. I didn't know. See,
no, it's okay.
that's how.
We're
Listen,
at the end basically anyway. So
for the people that's listening, that's how y'all know that me and Faye do not discuss the question. We literally it's a surprise to whoever gets the question. It's a surprise, and we literally do not know the
we
question.
do
So
not ask. We do not talk about this prior to them. So there you go. So now you keep that in mind. That will be the question coming up. But they did lose Russell Westbrook. That's a major loss. He was hurt a little bit, but he just wills you to win. That's a big piece they lost. But they got younger, more sustainable pieces in return. So let's see how that pays off. I don't think this team is really built for yet. They're weird in a lot of areas. So let's see what happens. They did also lose Garrison Matthews, Robin Lopez, Ish Smith, Alex Lynn. Those are some pieces they did lose. Those are all rotational pieces last year, especially Garrison Matthews. When injuries happened, he was a really good, consistent shooter off of their bench. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think the biggest questions are what would Denny look like in year 2 versus year 1? Because he was solid. He wasn't bad. I think if he can really start stepping up more, he could be a good player. And who will continue to like shine? If Corey Crispers can even get a role this year, that's even a possibility. How will we see him? That draft choice was with Bradley Beal in mind, allowing him to have floor spacers next to him. So how, like, if they're thinking about having floor spacers next to Bradley Beal, how much playing time are we going to see Corey Crisper get this season? He's a good player, great shooter. So there's some big questions for them. Last year they were 34 and 38. If we do an over and under, I think they're going to be under 34 wins. So
I agree with you 100%.
All right, well, that leads to our hot take question. Do they trade Bradley Beal?
I would if I was them. I would because they're not a playoff team. They're not really going anywhere right now. So why not go full tank mode and start over? But the only reason why I would be hesitant to trade Bradley Beal is because he's so adamant about staying there. And like you have a star like him that wants to stay there. Why not try to do your best to keep him there and make the situation better for him instead of just getting him out of there?
While I do agree, Washington's not a free agent destination. They haven't been competing. Like, they made a play-in spot. Like, this guy's getting older, and I get it. He wants to be loyal to Washington. He's continuously saying, I want to be in Washington, right? But I just think that he wants the label of loyalty, just like Damian Lillard. They want to be at these teams that just are never going to win, and he's a really good player. Like, go team up with Damian Lillard. You both are in the same boat. Go to the same team and see if you guys can get over that hump together. So I just think it's just time. Even though he won't say it to the media or even go to them, I think that management, ownership say, you know what, we're not getting anywhere. Let's start a full rebuild. I mean, there's going to be good players in the next couple of drafts. As you mentioned in one of our previous episodes, Imani Bates isn't even eligible to get drafted this year. If they have the possibility of getting him in 2 years, that's a great foundational piece to start with again. So I would say this might be the time. They can get a good return of young players or a lot of draft picks. Like, they can get a good return for him for the future. So I think this is right now. I'm not saying it'll go lower, but his trade value is at an all-time high. While it's high, get the most you can possibly get in return.
I agree. Well, y'all, that's another episode in the bag. Thank y'all for listening, man. We are at number team 23 right now. So we are moving right along the way. And we appreciate everybody for listening, man. And we stay tuned for the next team. But just know the hint for the next team is Drake's favorite team. So yeah, man. Thank y'all for listening. Stay tuned for our next episode. Peace.